So we are going to get into our very first fireside chat, our very first conversation with our first speaker. And I know her personally. She hails from the Spice Island of Grenada. And she's always talking about owning your badass. Own your badass. That is her mantra. And I'm talking about the one and only Judy McCutcheon, Grenadian-based HR consultant with over 20 years experience in organizational redesign, talent management, training, and financial coaching. She works with women to ignite their passion to achieve personal and financial freedom, as she sees women too often putting themselves last and ending up being financially impacted later in life. She's a certified John Maxwell teacher, trainer, speaker, and coach. She's also the mom of 2 teen girls who I happen to know. I can't wait to speak to her, but first, watch this. Hi, Judy. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Hi, Terry. Hi,
Welcome.
Terry.
Welcome to Boss Mom Think Big. You're just here in Jamaica and look at us talking right now.
I know, right? And we missed each other when I was there.
Exactly. Now, welcome. Now, you've built a brand. Certainly as a consultant, HR consultant. I know you go into businesses, you help them to reorganize and redesign. But as a personal brand, you're always speaking about owning your badass. And my first question to you was it always like this? Because there's so many women and young girls who are struggling with owning what that looks like and what that feels like. So were you always like that? Own your badass.
Not at all. Not at all. I was actually I started off as a very hot mess. Uh, yeah, a seriously hot mess. I this badass thing was nowhere in sight. I did everything that I thought people wanted, because I've always had a big personality. I've always been like this, but it makes people uncomfortable.
Mm.
And so what I did was, I kind of small up myself, they say small up yourself, so that other people could really shine and feel better. What that did, that really just kind of made me feel on the inside there was absolutely no satisfaction on the inside. I was unhappy, and that unhappiness caused me to be extremely destructive
Mm-hmm.
um, in my 30s and in my 20s. Like, just really lived a destructive life. A lot of times I say to people now, well, my mother prayers really saved me, so
Mm-hmm.
thank God for mothers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it wasn't always like this at all.
And how did you turn out? So you are able now, in hindsight, as we're speaking, to say, boy, I just had some destructive behavior because I was just lashing out. This is just me dealing with this discomfort and this unhappiness. When did you realize this has to change, or I'm gonna run myself into the ground? Was it an epiphany that you saw, or was it somebody who was a mentor or a coach or somebody who was a part of the village who said, come, Judes, we can do better than this? How did you figure it out?
Well, it was part and part. I met this lady when I was in my 20s, and she really took me under her wings and helped to nurture me, and but I was still wild because I was 20, and at 20 you don't want to be in a particular way. You want to do the things you want to do. But um in 2010 I got extremely ill. um and I remember I was before I got wheeled into the theater. My eyes were closed. I wasn't unconscious, but my eyes were closed, so I could hear the doctors talking. And you know one, the anesthesiologist did not want to do the surgery. And the surgeon said to him, well, you may as well do this because she's going to be dead anyway.
Oh, wow.
And when you get to that point, it gives you a totally different perspective on life. So at that point, I said, listen, you have a choice. You could either use their word and let it really kill you, or you can really use it and pull your strength and bring yourself out of this. I did that. And when you've been so close to death, though, everything in life just becomes totally different.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided there ain't no way under the sun I am going to be living my life to please other people.
Yes, ma'am.
I want joy in my heart. So there's no way I was going to do that. And that is when the whole development started, and I've not really looked back.
And Judy, I know you're speaking about your development. Because I know you personally, I also know you as someone who invests in self. Because a lot of the times we want change, we want to develop, we want to improve, but a lot of persons may not want to invest in themselves. As someone who makes sure that she pays for whatever training, whatever it is you need to do to take yourself to the very next level, how important is it to not only bet on yourself, but to invest in yourself at the same rate we would invest in other people and other businesses?
Well, I always say to women, free is informational. Free is not transformational. You cannot
Hey.
get transformation by going to all these free things, because people are not going to give you all the information for free. It doesn't happen. It will not happen. And we have to learn to stop putting everybody before ourselves. We have to say, listen, this is my time. I need something for me. And I always say, think back, just think forward, just think ahead, just future track and see it's that time and you're getting called up. This is your final moments. What do you want to be said? How do you want to feel? Are you going to be feeling coulda, shoulda, woulda? Or
Mm-hmm.
are you going to be saying, yes, I actually did it the way I wanted to do it?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to start to invest in ourselves. We have to, but life, Terry, is not meant to be lived. Life isn't meant to be done alone. It
Mm-hmm.
really isn't meant to be done alone. And we can't do it all because we don't know it all.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to start invest in the coach. Take this program, take that program. Start to do that for ourselves so that we can elevate ourselves and get to the next level. I really want women to step up, level up, and step into themselves. But they can't do that unless they invest in themselves.
And well said. And apart from investment, let us start with okay, well, how do we build confidence? Because we know, especially in the Caribbean, we have amazing women, amazing young women,
We
girls
do,
coming up
do.
who are just pregnant with possibility, pregnant with potential. But it's the confidence. You know, a lot of us suffer from that imposter syndrome where it's I don't deserve it. I'm not qualified to be here. How dare I think audaciously? How dare I reach out to that person? And yet, still, I see
Mhm.
you, for example, when you're putting together your conference, you literally will try to get Barack Obama. Like, you will literally try to jump and get whoever is close to Michelle Obama. And people might look at you like, but Judy, you must be crazy. How is it that you were able to now say, okay, this is what I have to do? I had my near death experience. Okay, this is the vision I have for myself. I'm going to invest in myself. But then, how do we now inject ourselves with that audacity to actually shoot for the stars, which is our next speaker who will be speaking to after you?
First thing, we need a community. As women, we need a community because I do stuff, yes. Am I fearful? Oh, you better believe that I'm fearful. But I do it anyway because I have a really great support community. And I was just thinking to myself today that, you know, if I didn't have a support community, there are lots of things that would not have happened, because sometimes, even though we are strong and we know what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to do it, we second guess ourselves, we
Mm-hmm.
doubt ourselves, and we want to just like, oh, maybe not, maybe. But if you have that community there that says you can do this, just keep going, we here.
Mm-hmm.
And just going. So for one, you need the community. Without a community, we are absolutely, absolutely nowhere.
What is the biggest thing you cut off? Normally when we're stepping into our next season, our next chapter, we've heard if you're in a toxic relationship, you got to get rid of it. If you have toxic friends, whatever it is that reminds you about your negative talk or that negative self or anything that is going to hold you down, you should try to cut off or get rid of, remove. What was it for you?
It was, for me, it was people. So I have this thing that I do, right? I really believe in energy.
Hmm.
I believe really in source. I believe in God. And so what I will do is I will pray and I will say, Lord, if there are any people in my life that isn't meant to be in my future, anybody in my now is
Remove
not
them.
meant to take the journey with me, please, please, please let them fall off. Let there be no drama. Let there be nothing, but just simply let them fall off.
Mm.
It really does work. It
Hmm.
really does work. People, and then I, I personally, I have changed how I eat. I've changed how I move, because all of that is really the big package to owning your badass, owning who you are, your health and well-being, your relationships, your career. Are you doing something that really lights your soul afire? Because if it doesn't light you afire, why are you waking up every morning to go? Why? So, and the other thing is your time and money freedom.
Hmm.
Those are the four things, the four areas of our life that we really need to get in alignment. We need to get good to really make it um, start to the start of owning your badass.
Nice. You have two daughters. Close enough in age, different
One
personalities.
year apart.
Well, is 1 year apart?
Well,
Ella is
exactly 52 weeks. Exactly 52
2 years.
weeks.
Well, there you go. 1 year apart. What's the biggest lesson you have learned as a mom? Any lesson that you can share with the other moms who might be watching as well, and those who might be expecting or might be planning anytime soon? Your biggest lesson.
Um, what my kids have taught me, I
Hmm.
thought I knew love. I really thought I did, but I didn't know love until I had my kids.
Yeah.
It's a whole different ball game altogether. They have taught me patience, because if you knew me prior kids, patience has always been my biggest obstacle.
Hmm.
I have I had absolutely no patience, and my kids have really, really taught me to be patient. I, when you have a young daughter waking up and at 4 o'clock in the morning, and she will say, "Mommy, I need to have a conversation." It's like, okay, I have
Hmm.
to have that conversation, just like that. "Mommy, can I have ice cream for breakfast?" Okay, all right. That kind of thing. They've really taught me patience. They've taught me to look at different perspectives,
To
to
actively
see
listen.
people differently. They have really, really done that for me.
Nice. And in your words, what is your definition of a boss mom? We've been using it, it's the name of the brand, but when you hear the term boss mom, you also connect with the term boss mom. What does that mean to you specifically?
For me, it means being imperfectly perfect, doing what you have to do, but knowing that you're going to make mistakes. You're going to mess up sometimes, but you're stepping up. You're stepping faith over fear. You keep going. You're doing what you have to do. But it also says that for me to be able to be the boss mom that I want to be, I have to take care of me. So
Hmm.
it involves taking care of you. You know, we as mothers, we put everybody before us. I mean, everybody, everything, the dog, the kitchen sink, everything comes before us. But we need to start this. Really do need to put ourselves first, because I'll tell you what, if you aren't good, nobody else good.
Right. And you certainly can't
Right?
pour the from the empty cup, as we've often heard. So we have to,
Okay.
and there's
Yep.
nothing self-centered and there's nothing selfish about taking care
Mhm.
of you.
Not
If you
at
don't
all.
take care of yourself and your vessel, then how can you manage to spread yourself and
Yeah,
impact other
it's like
persons
this thing. It's like the airline says, you have to put your mask on first. Because
before
if
you
you don't,
assist?
you go pass out and you can't help anybody.
Absolutely. We're moving into the question and answer segment, Judes, and I have a question here. It says, "Good day. My question is, I'm 33 and currently work at a financial institution, and I recently got married and will be moving overseas in the near future. Um, I would like to know how I can prepare myself for the big move financially and education wise, because I don't have any current qualifications except CXCs, which can be used there. Any advice?" So, this is somebody who is working, yes, recently got married. So, you're looking at probably like a young wife, moving abroad, and is trying to figure out now in terms of having maybe not as much experience or education in terms of qualifications. How, any advice for that person?
All right, so I'm going to start with the education first. If you're moving to one of the first world countries, your educational opportunities abound, right? So one of the first things you might want to do is start looking at programs. But first, know what it is you want to do. And because you don't want to get into something and then spend 4 years doing it and then realize this isn't what I want to do. So know what it is you want to do first, and then look for the opportunities. There's so many online schools, online universities, and start studying, because out there, I mean, a master's degree is just like it's almost like a bachelor's now, right? So
True.
you need to step that up, right? In terms of your finances, you're going to have to know, because everybody's finances is according to their situation. So you're going to have to know what your situation is, what you can do, what you cannot do. So you want to make sure that you have your education fund going, because student debt is not an easy thing.
Mm-hmm.
So as much as you can pay as you go, you want to be able to do that. So by the time you're finished studying, you have very little debt left, because student debt can bury you, right? And you want to also ensure that you save a little bit as you go. And I'm telling you, if you save $27.40 every single day, at the end of the year, you
It
have
adds up.
$10,000.
It adds
You
up.
have $10,000 at the end of the year. So look at your savings and look at what you can do in terms of improving yourself educational wise.
Thank you so very much. And probably the only thing I'll add to that is just be open. Be open to different opportunities. You may be at a financial institution now, but when you go to another country, chances are you may have to take a lower leveled job, something that you may have, frowned upon necessarily. So be open that you may not necessarily start out at the level that you are currently in Jamaica, and that's okay. Just use it as a building block, as a stepping block, and then you just keep on going and definitely applying excellence along the way. Judes, thank you so very much. I know that there's so much more dimension to you, but I do have some other speakers, and oh boy, time and curfew. It's,
I
they're
know,
real
I
things.
know,
But thank you
I
so very
know, I
much,
know.
Judy, and just continue in your walk to encourage the women in your network. I see you on LinkedIn, and you're always encouraging women to take care of their financial freedom, to be confident in who they are, and they're just to step out of their comfort zone. Whether you fail, whether you make mistakes or not, you're to do it anyway. So
Anyway,
thank you, Judes. Take care. Make sure you save me some nutmeg ice cream in Grenada, okay?
Certainly, it has been my pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you to Michelle and the participants. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you so very much, Jude. So that was Judy McCutcheon from the Spice Island at Grenada.